I'm not just gonna stand here and wait. I wanna just decide what is to be my fate. All on by myself, I'm not just gonna stay here and wait.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of Really Cool News. We're broadcasting on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm Jim Finch, and I'll be your host tonight for a combined edition where we'll be reading news from Thursday, May 23rd, and Friday, May 24th, 2024. It's been a long day and a long couple of days. I see, basically, number one, I've been up for a good 15 hours now. I am punch drunk, and I've been on the air all day for the Karen Reed murder trial coverage that we provided today. They, of course, went extra long, so I'm recording this a few minutes after that, and a few minutes before this broadcast begins. So we're burning the candle at both ends, and the candle is quickly disappearing. Yesterday was, to be honest, one of the worst days in a while. I was in the middle of recording the first of 4 live broadcasts when my computer died. Completely. Blue screen of death. I had to call Hank and have Hank end the show for me, as my machine needed 4 hard drives to be repaired. Of the 4, 1 totally died, and I was not prepared for the outpouring of support when I asked for help. I'm not used to asking for help, and dear God, as I was rebuilding the computer, I wasn't prepared for the amount that you guys have sent. You are wonderful. We've ordered the drive, the replacement drive, and I was able to get some things that were monthly subscriptions turned into yearly subscriptions based on the donations you've sent, after checking with the those who donated to make sure that it was okay to do so. I also had to replace a PlayStation 5 controller, as somewhere in the chaos of last month, I've lost not only my ballot for last month's elections, I lost my paperwork for jury duty, and somewhere in there, my PlayStation 5 controller, which I haven't played in over a month, has disappeared. When I was looking under my couch behind me, I found the jury instruction letter from 2022 when I last had jury duty. Yeah, it's going to be one of those years, I guess. But again, I'm so thankful for all of you and for all you do. We can't survive without you. We need help getting monetized, and we're about 195 subscribers away from first tier of monetization. This weekend, I will be looking at setting up our brand new shop. I've had several requests for stickers. We're going to do a couple of t-shirts. And again, as I've said before, we're going to keep costs down to barely above cost. These are promotional materials. You shouldn't be paying too much for them. Now, I'm going to also probably open up a Patreon page if there's interest, And that Patreon will be home to a new feature I'm going to call 8 Minutes with Jim, an exclusive daily vlog for our Patreon paid customers. That's all I can really offer you right now is a glimpse into my life. And yeah, I'm not sticking that on YouTube. If you're gonna have to see it, if the trolls want to see it, they're gonna have to pay for it. That's just how it's gonna happen. And yeah, I'm well aware that our tiny broadcasts are being occasionally rebroadcast by someone's calling them the most boring thing on earth. But that's a different musing for a different time. With that, we're going to get to the news. Disregard what I said in the outro, which I just basically recorded a second ago. Shuggy and Mark and Hank will not be doing a show tonight, regardless of what I said in the outro. Please spread the word. With that, on to the news. De Castro listens to our musings? Say it isn't so. The associates of Jose Chili de Castro apparently have seen and heard our printed and vocal messages that a GoFundMe fund cannot survive without constant promotion, as we were greeted with the following on De Castro's YouTube community page on Wednesday. The links provided went to De Castro's Legal Aid Fund, Donation Fund, Help People Fund, and his Lawyer Fund only. All dollars go to lawyers, and to Garrett Press with Ranker Van Net's Support Press with Ranker's Legal Fund, and resulted in a single $10 donation for De Castro's Legal Aid Fund. A second donation of $25 was made well before the community post went live, bringing the fund's tally to $35 for the day and earning De Castro an easy victory, as none of the other campaigns we follow had any sort of earnings at all on Wednesday. To be frank, it was a mixed victory for De Castro, as yes, someone in his camp finally listened to our calls and promoted his campaigns, and $10 is nothing to scoff at during the current climate. However, a promotion aimed at his 575,000 subscribers, producing only $10, can only be considered as a failure for the self-proclaimed superstar. The post itself had 186 likes as of press time and 157 comments that border more on the negative than the positive. The post should be doing much better with his audience, who are starved for new content from the YouTuber, and puts his actual subscriber numbers into question, because the reach De Castro now has since he's been incarcerated. There have always been rumors that De Castro has bought subscribers. While the rumors were never proven, his drawing power to his live streams and the reactions to community posts and his efforts always put his metrics into question. Even with his argument that the bulk of his subscribers came from viewing his shorts, and short viewers are notoriously unsupportive of long-form content, 5% or 10% of his base from those shorts would have translated over into actual channel viewers, and even a small portion of those would have turned into actual cash donors. There's no rhyme or reason for the lack of participation, and it's always been a problem for De Castro. Unlike auditors such as James Freeman and Long Island Audits, and even DirectD to some extent, who can literally go live in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon and draw thousands of followers, De Castro struggled to break the 300-person attendance mark before his incarceration. While big events such as his post-jailing statements could draw viewership in the thousands, day to day he would struggle to get a number comparable to those put up by other YouTube auditors with a smaller subscriber count. To see this promotion fail so spectacularly, even with the loss of his base viewers scattered to the wind, as he's had no daily content for a while now, puts his true subscriber count into question and may provide an indication that his channel is currently too far gone to produce the money he needs to fight his legal or to fund his legal defense. This is one to watch. Things are bad for Chili de Castro right now, and they may continue to get worse unless he does some sort of stunt while in jail to get serious media attention. De Castro finds advertising pays off in Thursday win. Jose Chili De Castro's three GoFundMe campaigns had good days on Thursdays as their overall gains propelled him to a second straight win for the GoFundMe Daily Crown. Sean Paul Long Island Audits Riaz came in a firm second place for the day. Between DeCastro's exposure on our Nevada judge's coverage of a hearing for his appeal and his actually posting of his URLs to his fans in a community post, DeCastro managed to take in a combined $135 between the three campaigns. His legal aid fund, donation fund, Help People Fund took in $65 to beat out his other two official accounts on Thursday. In second place out of the three funds came to Castro's lawyer fund only, all dollars go to lawyers campaign, which raised $50. Rounding out the pack, his legal defense fund crime scene tape illegal arrest campaign saw $20 in new donations for the day. Long Island Audits support the fight against tyranny and corruption took second place in the overall race for the Daily Crown, taking in $50 for the day and moving up to a 93% completion rate, bringing the fund to $50,976 out of its requested $55,000. DeCastro's overall win for the day is his second straight win in a row, and while nowhere near the levels that he had achieved in the past, may be a sign of revitalized support for his campaigns now that his people are actually telling his subscribers where to find his campaigns. Turtle Boy motion hearing set for Thursday. Thursday's hearing for Aiden Turtleboy Kearney's felony witness intimidation charges has brought a temporary pause in the Karen Reed murder trial as the blogger is inching closer to his own trial on charges related to the case. Originally, Judge Beverly J. Canone, the same judge overseeing the Reed case, was assigned to Kearney's hearings, but had been replaced by Michael A. Caline before April's hearing in the case. Despite Canone being no longer associated with the case, proceedings in Karen Reed's murder trial have been delayed until Friday. This is an established practice by the court as not to influence either trial with a mixing of witnesses in the cases. Thursday's hearing is expected to cover previous motions that had been delayed by the ongoing illness of Special Prosecutor Kenneth Mello. Filings by the prosecution on Wednesday also include that the prosecution will be seeking the return of evidence accidentally given to the defense from the discovery process concerning witness Lindsay Gaiatini's phone. A clone of Gaiatini's phone had been accidentally given to the defense in early April as part of a separate case, which the defense has refused to return to the prosecution. Attorney Tim Bradel provided a copy of the phone's data to Kearney, who then attempted to access Gaiatini's accounts during one of his live streams based on the data he received. It is unclear if this motion will provide relief for Gaiatini, as Kearney has had the data for over a month and has already allegedly distributed it to his associates. Kearney himself has been undaunted by the charges of witness intimidation, openly tweeting insults and harassing statements towards witnesses in the Karen Reed case while sitting in the courthouse as part of the press pool for the case. Thursday's hearing is not expected to change his behavior in the case and will bring Kearney one step closer to his trial, which is expected to be held later in the summer. Protection order issued for data in Turtleboy case. Published reports indicated that a protective order was issued on Thursday for data accidentally handed over to Aiden Turtleboy Kearney last month containing the contents of Lindsay Gaiatini's cell phone. The data was one of the only motions ruled on at Thursday's hearing, a scheduled motion hearing in Kearney's ongoing prosecution for charges related to his time as the leader of the so-called Free Karen Reed movement. Gaiatini's data was accidentally given to Kearney's attorney, Tim Bradle, last month as part of the discovery process. Previous attempts to retrieve the data from Bradle had been denied by the attorney, who then apparently shared the contents of the phone with his client. Thursday's order effectively puts on a hold on distribution of the material, which is a key element to Kearney's attempts to have Gaiatini's protection order lifted. Gaiatini was granted a one-year protection order earlier in the year after an alleged December incident of domestic assault on Gaiatini by Kearney. While Kearney was initially charged in that case, the district attorney's office declined prosecution. Other changes to the case came in a new judge, with Judge Michael A. Callaline making his second appearance since taking the case from Judge Beverly J. Cannoni, and the first appearance in this case of Robert Cosgrove, who will be taking over prosecutorial duties for Special Prosecutor Kenneth Mello, while Mello recuperates from a long-term illness. De Castro muses on eve of court appearance. The latest address by Jose Chile de Castro to his fans on the eve of his Thursday appeals court hearing offered a mix of bitterness and anger as de Castro declared himself a martyr for the First Amendment and freedom of the press. De Castro's latest rebranding as a self-proclaimed martyr comes as de Castro's demand for mainstream media attention has gone all but unnoticed. Thursday's media coverage will be provided by our Nevada judges, as no other media requests have been filed for the hearing. The recent dissolution of a prominent anti-De Castro channel, which previously provided De Castro near daily news coverage to its limited audience and was the only YouTube channel to consistently stand up to his copyright strikes, hurt more than help De Castro's cause, as well as apparent destruction will rob him of a constant critic. It stopped the wider distribution of De Castro's video to their larger audience. Going into Thursday's motion hearing, there is simply no buzz about De Castro or his plight. Wednesday's community post reminding De Castro's followers of his dire need for funding resulted in a total of $10 in new donations and under 200 mostly negative comments towards the YouTuber. His meandering message to his followers about historical events that had no bearing on his case robbed him of precious time he needed to get his message out, that his followers needed to step up the pressure campaigns on Justice of the Peace Ann Zimmerman, who is responsible for sentencing De Castro to jail, and Judge Michelle Levitt, who is set to hear his appeal in July. De Castro is still demanding that his followers petition both women for his freedom, despite Zimmerman having no role in the process, as the case has moved on to Levitt's appeals court. While instructing his fans to be respectful in their petitions, it is a clear campaign to pressure both women into doing his bidding or face the consequences for ignoring him once he is released. The YouTuber assured his fans that he would be in attendance for his Thursday hearing and that they would have the opportunity to again see his plight as he would be brought in wearing chains and the outfit of an inmate. The hearing itself is set for the discussion of De Castro's attempt to file 187 total pages of materials for his appeal instead of the 10-page standard limit for appeal documents. De Castro seemed enthusiastic at the possibility of the possible outcome of the hearing, as the prosecution had yet to file an opposition brief on Wednesday. This is a developing story. As reported on the R Nevada Judge's YouTube channel, Jose Chile de Castro was awarded a minor victory on Thursday at his motion hearing for his appeal of convictions for interference in a traffic stop and obstructing an officer, as he was granted the right to exceed the page limitations on his appeals brief. Judge Michelle Levitt seemed puzzled at the hearing as to the need of said hearing, since DeCastro's attorney, Christopher Oram, had already filed his motion that had gone over the page limit by 19 pages. Oram explained that when he deals with the Nevada Supreme Court, at a hearing is required if he goes over the 30-page limit, and he was following that procedure in this case. Levitt almost immediately granted the limited increase without objection from Deputy District Attorney Alexander Chen. Chen made it clear that he had no objection to any exhibits Oram wanted to add that were presented at trial. When Oram claimed there were new exhibits that he wanted to include that were not presented at trial, Chen changed his mind after initial objection and allowed Oram to include whatever he wanted to file, and the state would deal with it later. Oram indicated that he wanted records preserved in case he needed to appeal the verdict of the July 10th hearing to the Nevada State Supreme Court, which is reflective of his client's desires to take the appeal of the two relatively minor misdemeanor charges all the way to the United States Supreme Court if necessary. Judge Levitt granted Oram's request for the page limit increases and the inclusion of the new exhibits. And that's it for the news today. I just want to say thank you to everyone who pitched in yesterday when the massive system meltdown happened. I can't express the surprise. When there are no words. You guys are just simply wonderful, and we have enough to continue a lot of things with the channel right now after the showing of support yesterday. I believe I have the issue solved now. It was a conflict between StreamYard and my external hard drives, which ultimately cost me one of the 14 drives I think I have on the system. Ultimately, I have to turn off all my external drives from now on whenever I'm recording or broadcasting on StreamYard. It's just a matter of getting used to what's going on, or to the new procedures. As you can tell, I've been up for an awful long time right now. I'm in hour 15, I think, 16, since we started the day early this morning. I'm going to get some rest, but for a bit of programming notes, I believe that Phil and Shuggy will be on Mark the Sarcastic Law Students channel tonight sometime. I will probably be asleep by then, as all I want to do is watch Mallrats and fall asleep at this point in my life. Tomorrow, the news will return at 6 p.m. Eastern as normal, followed by a panel discussion at 8 o'clock or 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. where it counts, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. That discussion is to be determined, but we will have a live panel go about an hour tomorrow. Sunday, we will have, again, the normal newscast at 6 p.m. Then at 8 p.m., we will be starting our new weekly show. It's a week in review where I'll be broadcasting most of the news stories from the past week in order. So if you missed anything and you don't want to look them up yourself, you can hit up that show and it will all play in order by day of the week. With that, folks, I'm out of here. I hope you have a great day, a great weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night, all.